English Daily, the podcast.
Your English journey starts now. Hey, English learners, welcome back to your podcast, the English Daily Podcast. I'm Anna, and I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Yes, and I'm Jack. We're so happy to have you here today, everyone.
Today's episode is all about overcoming procrastination, and it's such an important topic for anyone who wants to be more productive.
That's right, Anna. Procrastination is something we all struggle with, and we're going to share some really practical strategies to help you beat it.
So, whether you're a beginner or already speaking well, you'll find something useful here today. We've got lots of great content for you.
Let's dive right in.
So, Jack, can I ask you something personal? Have you ever procrastinated on something important?
Oh, absolutely. I'm guilty as charged, Anna. I think everyone procrastinates from time to time. I remember when I was supposed to finish a project report for work, and I kept telling myself, I'll do it tomorrow. But then tomorrow came, and I found other things to do instead.
Oh, I see what happened. So you kept pushing it back?
Yeah, exactly. I would clean my desk, organize my files, check my emails thoroughly, all these productive activities that weren't actually the priority. Looking back, I was just avoiding the difficult task.
That's so relatable, Jack. I think we've all been there. I remember when I needed to study for an important exam, and instead of studying, I would reorganize my entire room. I even folded my clothes 3 times. Can you believe that?
Wow, 3 times. That's incredible. But I understand completely. The thing is, our brains are really good at finding ways to avoid discomfort.
So why do you think we procrastinate so much? What's going on in our minds?
Great question, Anna. From what I've learned, procrastination is basically our brain preferring immediate gratification over long-term rewards. Checking your phone feels good right now, but studying or working on a project doesn't give us that instant dopamine hit.
That's really insightful. So it's basically a battle between our present self and our future self?
Exactly. And unfortunately, our present self often wins because it's right there, wanting comfort and pleasure right now. The future self seems so abstract and far away.
That makes sense. But Jack, doesn't procrastination cause stress? Like when you keep putting something off, don't you feel more anxious?
Oh, absolutely. That's the crazy part about procrastination. Even though we avoid the task in the moment, the guilt and anxiety about not doing it build up over time. It's like a snowball effect. The longer you wait, the worse you feel. And the worse you feel, the harder it becomes to start.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that. It's like a cycle. But you know what, Jack? I think the first step to overcoming procrastination is actually understanding why we do it. Would you agree?
100%, Anna. Awareness is key. Once you understand your own patterns and triggers, you can start to address them. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, right?
Absolutely. We're going to share some practical strategies that have worked for us and also for other people we know. But let's start with the first subtopic. Jack, what do you think is the most common mistake people make when trying to overcome procrastination?
I think the biggest mistake is trying to do too much at once. People think they need to make dramatic changes, like working for 8 hours straight or completely eliminating all distractions. But that's not sustainable at all. It's like trying to run a marathon without any training.
That's a great analogy. So what should people do instead?
Start small, Anna always says, right? The trick is to break down big tasks into tiny, manageable pieces. Instead of saying, I'll study for 3 hours, you say, I'll study for just 15 minutes. It's so small that your brain doesn't resist it as much.
I love that approach. It's called the 2-minute rule, isn't it? If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately.
Yes, exactly. The 2-minute rule is brilliant. Like if you need to send an email, just do it right now. Don't put it on your to-do list. Don't schedule it. Just do it. It builds momentum and makes you feel productive.
You know, Jack, I actually use a similar strategy. I call it the 5 minute start. Even if I don't feel like doing something, I tell myself I'll just work on it for 5 minutes. Usually, after 5 minutes, I'm already in the flow and I continue.
That's smart. And the hardest part is often just getting started, right? Once you begin, it's much easier to keep going.
Definitely. So, what are some other practical strategies we can share with our listeners, Jack?
Well, one thing that really helps is removing distractions. I used to keep my phone on my desk while working, and I would check it every few minutes. It was terrible. Now I put it in another room or use an app to block notifications during work sessions.
Oh, that's a tough one. The phone is such a big distraction for everyone, isn't it? I think the average person checks their phone over 150 times a day.
150 times? That's insane. No wonder we can't focus on anything. The constant notifications and the urge to check just in case really breaks our concentration.
Yeah, but there are apps now that help you stay focused. Like you can set timers, block certain apps during work hours, or even put your phone in another room. Little changes make a big difference.
For sure. Another strategy is to create a dedicated workspace. When you have a specific place for work, your brain associates that space with productivity. It's like a mental trigger. I know some people who only work at their desk and never anywhere else, and they find it much easier to focus.
That's interesting. I also find that having a clear to-do list helps a lot. Not just any to-do list, but one that's organized by priority. You know, the most important tasks at the top and less important ones below.
Curious. How do you decide what goes at the top, Anna?
I ask myself, what would happen if I didn't do this today? If the consequence is serious, it goes to the top. It's a simple way to prioritize. And I also try to do the most difficult task first, when my energy and willpower are highest.
That's really smart. I've heard this called eating the frog, doing the hardest thing first thing in the morning. It sets a positive tone for the rest of the day.
I love that expression. Eat the frog first thing in the morning. It's so vivid. But Jack, what about motivation? Sometimes we know what we should do, but we just don't feel like doing it.
That's such a good point, Anna. Motivation is tricky because it comes and goes. What works better is building habits. When something becomes a habit, you don't need motivation anymore. You just do it automatically.
So, how do we build good habits? How do we make something a habit?
Consistency is key. You do the same thing at the same time every day until it becomes automatic. Like if you want to start studying English every morning, you do it at the same time every day for several weeks. Eventually, your brain just expects it.
That makes sense. I think environment design also helps a lot. Like, if you want to read more, put books everywhere in your house, on your bedside table, on the couch, even in the bathroom. That way, whenever you have a few minutes, there's a book right there.
Yes, and the same goes for English learning. Have your notes and flashcards visible. Listen to English podcasts during your commute. Create an environment that supports your goals rather than working against you.
You know, Jack, I think another important aspect is dealing with perfectionism. A lot of procrastination comes from fear of failure or fear of not doing something perfectly.
Oh, that's so true. I struggle with that one myself. Sometimes I don't start a project because I'm afraid it won't be good enough. But you know what? Done is better than perfect.
Exactly. And the first version of anything is usually not great. That's okay. The important thing is to start and then improve along the way. You can't edit a blank page.
That's a great way to put it. And also, we need to be kind to ourselves. Everyone procrastinates sometimes. It doesn't make you a bad person or a failure. It's just a behavior that you can change.
That's so important, Jack. Self-compassion is crucial. If you beat yourself up every time you procrastinate, you'll feel worse and be even less likely to start. Instead, acknowledge it, forgive yourself, and then get back on track.
Yeah, and it's helpful to remember that progress is not linear. There will be good days and bad days. The key is to keep going and not give up completely. Even if you fall off track one day, you can always start again tomorrow.
So let's talk about accountability. Do you think having someone to report to helps with procrastination, Jack?
Absolutely. Accountability is a powerful tool. When you know someone is watching or expecting you to complete something, you're more likely to do it. That's why study groups and work partners can be so helpful.
I agree. You could also share your goals with a friend or family member, or even better, find an accountability partner who has similar goals. You can check in with each other regularly and celebrate your progress together.
Yes, and there's something else that works really well. Public commitment. When you tell people about your goals, you're more likely to follow through because you don't want to look bad in front of others. It's not the most elegant motivation, but it works.
That's so true. I'm guilty of that myself. I'll tell everyone about my plans, so I have to follow through. It's like social pressure, but in a good way.
What about rewards, Anna? Do you think rewarding yourself helps with productivity?
Oh, definitely. I use the reward system all the time. After I finish a study session or complete a task, I allow myself to do something enjoyable, like I might watch an episode of my favorite show or have a nice cup of tea.
That's a great strategy. The key is to make the reward contingent on completing the task first. It's called temptation bundling. You combine something you need to do with something you want to do, like you only listen to your favorite podcast while exercising.
I love that. It's like making the medicine taste better. You associate something pleasurable with something productive. Jack, what about time blocking? Have you tried that?
Yes, time blocking is amazing. Instead of having a vague to-do list, you schedule specific blocks of time for different tasks. Like from 9 to 11 a.m., I'll work on this project. From 2 to 3 p.m., I'll answer emails. It helps you stay focused and prevents decision fatigue.
That's really practical. And I think it's important to also schedule breaks. People often think they need to work continuously, but breaks are essential for maintaining productivity. Your brain needs time to rest and recharge.
Absolutely. The Pomodoro Technique is great for this. You work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, you take a longer break. It's structured and prevents burnout.
I've tried Pomodoro before. It works really well for me. But Jack, what about when you're just not in the mood? Like when you're feeling tired or unmotivated?
That's a tough one, Anna. Sometimes our energy levels are just low, and that's okay. But the trick is to not wait for motivation. Motivation often comes after you start, not before. So even if you don't feel like it, just do a tiny bit. Sometimes that's enough to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I agree. And if you really can't focus, it's better to take a genuine break than to pretend to work. Go for a walk, get some fresh air, do something relaxing. Then come back when you feel better.
That's good advice. And also, make sure you're taking care of your basic needs. Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? All of these things affect your energy levels and ability to focus.
That's so important, Jack. Self-care is not selfish. Taking care of your physical and mental health is essential for productivity. If you're exhausted or stressed, of course you're going to procrastinate. Your brain is trying to protect you.
Exactly. So let's summarize what we've discussed so far. We talked about starting small, removing distractions, creating a dedicated workspace, making to-do lists, building habits, designing your environment, dealing with perfectionism, being kind to yourself, using accountability, rewarding yourself, time blocking, taking breaks, and taking care of your basic needs. That's a lot of strategies.
It really is, and I think the key is to find what works for you, Jack. Not every strategy works for everyone. Some people thrive with strict schedules, while others prefer more flexibility. Experiment and see what fits your lifestyle.
That's great advice, Anna. And remember, overcoming procrastination is a skill. It takes practice. You're not going to be perfect overnight, but every small step counts. And over time, you'll see improvement.
I love that perspective, Jack. It's all about progress, not perfection, and we're here to support you on this journey. Now, let's move on to some vocabulary. Are you ready?
Absolutely, let's do it.
So, Jack, let's talk about some useful phrases related to procrastination and productivity. What should we start with?
How about we start with the phrase to procrastinate? That's our main topic after all.
Good idea. So, to procrastinate means to delay or postpone doing something, often because you don't want to do it or you're avoiding it. For example, I tend to procrastinate when I have difficult tasks. Can you use it in another sentence, Jack?
Sure. She procrastinated on her thesis until the last week. Oh wait, that's not right. The correct form is she procrastinated on her thesis until the last week. You need the past tense procrastinated for past situations.
Great catch. That's a common mistake. People sometimes forget to conjugate the verb correctly. Now, what's another useful phrase, Jack?
Let's talk about to put something off. It's similar to procrastinate, like I've been putting off going to the dentist. It's a very common expression in everyday English.
Yes, and you can also say to put off doing something. For example, I keep putting off studying for the exam. That's really natural. What about to delay?
To delay is a bit more formal. You might use it in professional settings, like the meeting has been delayed until next week, or don't delay, start now.
Good point. Now, let's talk about to get down to business. This means to start focusing on the important work. For example, after chatting for a while, we finally got down to business.
That's useful, and related to that is to hit the ground running, which means to start something with energy and make quick progress. Like, I want to hit the ground running on this project.
I love that expression. Now, what about to bite the bullet? What does that mean, Jack?
To bite the bullet means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding. Like, I finally bit the bullet and called my boss about the problem. It's like forcing yourself to do it despite the fear.
That's perfect, and it's a really common idiom. What about to take the first step? That's related to starting something.
To take the first step means to begin a process or journey. It's often used metaphorically, like the hardest part is taking the first step. After that, it gets easier. Very motivating.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about to be under the weather. What does that mean, Jack?
Oh, that means to feel sick or unwell. Like, I'm under the weather today, so I won't come to work. It's a polite way to say you're not feeling good.
Good one. And to feel under the weather is the common form. What about to drag your feet? That sounds fun.
To drag your feet means to delay or move slowly, especially because you don't want to do something. Like, he's been dragging his feet on this project for months. It implies reluctance.
That's great. Now, let's talk about to be on fire. This is a really energetic expression.
To be on fire means to be extremely motivated and productive. Like, yesterday, I was on fire. I finished all my tasks in just a few hours. It shows great energy and enthusiasm.
I want to be on fire every day. What about to be in the zone?
To be in the zone means to be completely focused and performing at your best. Like, when I'm in the zone, time flies and I get so much done. It's that feeling of flow.
I know that feeling. Now, let's talk about to pull an all-nighter.
To pull an all-nighter means to stay awake all night to finish something. Like, I had to pull an all-nighter to finish my essay. It's not very healthy, but sometimes necessary.
True, but we don't recommend it. What about to work against the clock?
To work against the clock means to have limited time to complete something. Like, we were working against the clock to finish the project before the deadline. It's very common in work settings.
Now, let's talk about to make ends meet. This is a different expression.
To make ends meet means to have just enough money to cover your expenses. Like, it's hard to make ends meet on a minimum wage job. It's about financial situation.
Good one. What about to take something step by step?
To take something step by step means to do it gradually, one stage at a time. Like, don't try to do everything at once. Take it step by step. It's great advice for overcoming procrastination.
That's perfect for our topic. What about to take ownership of something?
To take ownership of something means to accept responsibility for it. Like, you need to take ownership of your tasks and follow through. It shows accountability.
Important concept. What about to find your stride?
To find your stride means to get comfortable and effective at something after a period of learning. Like, at first it was hard, but eventually I found my stride. It implies improvement.
I love that. What about to keep your nose to the grindstone?
To keep your nose to the grindstone means to work hard and stay focused for a long time. Like, she kept her nose to the grindstone and finished the project early. It's about dedication.
That's a good one. Now let's talk about to burn out.
To burn out means to become exhausted from overwork. Like, if you don't take breaks, you'll burn out. It's important to avoid this.
Definitely. And finally, let's talk about to smell the roses. What does that mean, Jack?
To smell the roses means to enjoy the simple pleasures in life and not work too hard. Like, don't forget to smell the roses once in a while. It's about balance.
That's a beautiful expression to end with. Wow, we covered so many useful phrases today, Jack.
We sure did, and I hope our listeners will practice using these phrases in their daily conversations. That's how you really learn.
Now it's time for our reflection questions, Jack. These are questions for our listeners to think about and perhaps discuss with friends or write in a journal.
Sounds great, Anna. Let's go through them together.
First question. What is one task you've been procrastinating on lately? Why do you think you've been putting it off?
That's a great first question. I think we all have at least one thing we've been avoiding. Maybe it's a difficult conversation, a challenging project, or something we find boring. Identifying it is the first step.
Second question. What emotions do you feel when you procrastinate? Do you feel anxious, guilty, or stressed?
I know I feel anxious when I procrastinate. The longer I wait, the worse I feel. But sometimes I also feel a strange relief in the moment, like I've escaped something. It's a complicated feeling.
Third question. What is your biggest distraction? Is it your phone, social media, television, or something else?
For me, it's definitely my phone. I can easily spend hours scrolling through social media without even realizing it. That's why I put it in another room when I need to focus.
Fourth question. Which strategy from today's episode resonates most with you? Is it starting small, time blocking, removing distractions, or something else?
I think for me, it's removing distractions and creating a dedicated workspace. Once my environment is set up right, everything else becomes easier.
Happy. Fifth question. How can you make your environment more supportive of your goals? What changes can you make today?
That's practical. Maybe put your phone in another room, have your study materials ready, or remove visual clutter from your workspace. Little changes make a big difference.
Reassuring. Sixth question. Who can you ask to hold you accountable? Is there a friend, family member, or colleague who can check in on your progress?
Accountability partners are so powerful. Even just telling someone about your goals can increase your motivation to follow through.
Curious. How can you show yourself compassion when you do procrastinate? What would you say to a friend who is struggling with procrastination?
That's important. I would tell a friend that it's okay, that everyone procrastinates sometimes, and that they can always start again. No need to beat yourself up.
Encouraging. Eighth question. What is one small step you can take right now to move forward on a task you've been avoiding?
Even 5 minutes. That's enough to get started and often leads to more progress. The key is to take action, no matter how small.
Happy. Ninth question. How will you reward yourself after completing a task? What treat or activity do you enjoy?
Having a reward in mind can really motivate you. Maybe watch your favorite show, enjoy a nice meal, or take a relaxing bath. Whatever makes you happy.
Encouraging. 10th and final question. What is one habit you want to build to overcome procrastination? How will you make it part of your routine?
Building habits takes time and consistency. Start small, be patient, and remember that progress is not linear. Keep going, and you'll get there.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Jack. This was such a helpful conversation.
It was my pleasure, Anna, and thank you to all our listeners. We hope today's episode gave you practical tools to overcome procrastination. Remember, you have the power to change your habits and achieve your goals.
Yes, and don't forget to practice the vocabulary we learned today. Try using these phrases in your daily conversations. That's how you'll really master them.
And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
We'll see you next time on English Daily, the podcast. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.
Bye for now, English learners. Take care.
Bye! Your learning journey doesn't stop here. Keep improving your English. Click the next video or explore more episodes we've picked just for you. See you in the next lesson.